Well, welcome back again, Alicia. We are still here at the Cape Town International Convention Center. This is where the Ubuntu Awards will be hosted by the Department of International Relations and Cooperations. As I speak to you now, it's beginning to fill up quite nicely as we head closer to that 7 o'clock when the awards are going to begin. And of course, I've just seen some notable faces coming in. I see just off picture the Secretary to Parliament, Mr. Kolile George. I see also the Public Protector, Advocate Koleka Galeka. And I saw just a short while ago the Minister of International Relations and Cooperations, Dr. Naledi Pandor, who is, of course, at the moment briefing the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile. Of course, the Deputy President will deliver the keynote address at around 7:20, and we will be bringing you that speech live here on SABC News. Of course, the person who knows more about the Ubuntu Awards is Alvin Bottas, the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperations. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time once again. The significance of these awards, of course, we're coming from a marathon week of events of the State of the Nation address, but today it's a celebratory tour.
Yeah, today, Pudelani, is really about celebrating excellence in the world of diplomacy. We are recognizing the anchors of South Africa's foreign policy. Across various fields. We speak about economic diplomacy, we speak about sports and cultural diplomacy, we speak about those champions on behalf of the South African people and government that have engaged substantively on matters of African solidarity and global solidarity. So today really it's a recognition that government is but one key important player, but non-state actors has a pivotal role in anchoring our foreign policy.
Of course, these awards started in 2015. Are you beginning to see more people being recognized as the years go on?
Yes, of course. It's a versatile of agents that on behalf of South Africa's people and government are executing our foreign policy. You would recall, for example, black coffee was recognized. We have recognized Aziz Pahat. We have recognized Wade van der Kerk. We have recognized MTN for economic diplomacy, etc. So I think this is it's actually a reflection of the deepening of and the repository of the various actors within foreign policy space that lets South Africa actually look good.
All right, the President in his State of the Nation address did mention that South Africa is still continuing playing part in the Africa Peace Initiative in resolving the Russia and Ukraine conflict. Are you beginning to see any light in that space?
Well, you'll remember it's a 10-point plan, obvious plan pivoted by the African heads of states and of government. What we have seen, there has been significant progress made in regards to the exchange of prisoners of wars. You have seen progress made in relation to the children from the Donbas region that had to be taken back, to their families. What obviously is still missing in relation to the African Peace Initiative is the willingness of both Moscow and Kiev to sit around the table. That is key and critical. You'll remember the last time was with the Istanbul process where we had negotiations, mediations that was facilitated. So this year, President Ramaphosa once again will obviously ensure that we heighten areas of commonality in relation to peace diplomacy, because what is key and critical is that we need Ukraine, we need the Russian Federation to engage on substantive detail to bring about de-escalation, to bring about cessation of hostilities. That is in the interest not only of Europe, but it's in the interest of Africa and the rest of the world.
Lastly, before I let you go, South Africa has taken to The Hague in the International Court of Justice. Why did South Africa chose that route instead of the International Criminal Court? And I ask that in the sense that we're now beginning to see whether there are consequences for that route that you've taken, whether politically, economically?
Well, I think you'll appreciate there's been big debates in terms of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, in particular as it relates to its charging of African leaders and the charging of President Putin on the eve of the 15 BRICS Summit of Heads of State and of Government. There's been a plethora of discussions, but remember the limitation of in terms of the Rome Statute is that substantively an indictment can only be issued to individuals. Juxtapose that obviously with the ICJ, where remedial action is engaged with as it relates to a state. So our prayers to the International Court of Justice was not directed to the head of government, the Prime Minister of Israel. It was directed in relation to the overarching conduct of the Israeli state. And that is obviously, the significant, difference between the choices that we have exercised. Obviously, the issues has been raised whether South Africa are ready to face political, economic, and personal consequences for our decisions. And our response, obviously, from DIRCO is that global solidarity, it's a principled foreign policy priority. You can't engage in global solidarity and then say that if you compromise on global solidarity as it relates to economic diplomacy, you must make a choice. There's no choice for South Africa. What we must continue to pivot is the mantra of Nelson Mandela that the freedom of South Africa cannot be complete if you don't have the freedom of the Palestine people, because we speak about self-determination, the choice of a people to stay in the land of their forefathers. And that is really the debate. It's about self-determination. We had our privilege in 1994 through casting, a democratic ballot, and we want the Palestine people to equally have the privilege also for the issues about universal suffering, but also the land dispossession issue.
I'm out of time. Just a quick one. Did the minister receive threats?
Well, the minister have received threats, and our SSA are obviously analyzing that. But she's a principled woman, and we give accolades to that.
All right. Thank you so much. Alvin Portas, the Deputy Minister for International Relations and Corporations. On that note, we'll cross back to you in studio.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome to the Ubuntu Awards 2024. The doors to the main venue are now open. Please make your way to your seats as proceedings are about to begin. Please take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are switched to silent. Thank you.
Sides first, then the last 3 years, just have fun and enjoy. Okay? That you know. We'll see this extra, but just focus on each of the instruments. Alright, have fun. You guys have wonderful. I'll see you later.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome to the Ubuntu Awards 2024. The doors to the main venue are now open. Please make your way to your seats as proceedings are about to begin. Please take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are switched to silent. Thank you.
Unyatel, washumsu. It was on Sunday afternoon, sitting in the park, Polar Park. The sun was streaming through the leaves. Lovers were strolling up and down. Here come a beauty ducked indeed. She comes from north going south. Oh, whatever, fellow, whatever. Mama, oh, ducked indeed. Mama, oh, stand aside. Oh, whatever, I'll beg of whatever muntu. Stand aside. Wamuhle umuntu, wamuhlelele, ngithi wamuhle umntwana umuntu, muhle okonyezi lukhanya ebusuku. Mutemelonge ntwasahlobo, mute sengathi ugeza ngobisi, wamuhle uMafrika. Oh mama, wasandwa sami, awuzubumnandi.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome to the Ubuntu Awards 2024. The doors to the main venue are now open. Please make your way to your seats as proceedings are about to begin. Please take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are switched to silent. Thank you.
Sunday afternoon, sitting in the park for la park. The sun was streaming through the leaves. Lovers were strolling up and down. Here come a beauty tucked in. She comes from north going the south. Oh, whatever, hello, whatever. Mama, oh, tucked in. Mama, oh, stand aside. Oh, whatever, I'll beg of whatever more to.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome to the Ubuntu Awards 2024. The doors to the main venue are now open. Please make your way to your seats as proceedings are about to begin. Please take a moment to ensure that your cell phones are switched to silent. Thank you.
Here come a beauty tucked in. She comes from north going the south. Oh, whatever, hello, whatever. Mama, oh, tucked in. Mama, oh, stand aside. Oh, whatever, I'll beg of whatever more to. Stand aside. One more to one more lele. It's one more from Tanamo. Moto gonyes, look, I am so. sahlobo muthe sengathi ugeza ngobisi wamuhlu mafika oh mama wasandra sami awuzobonani awubona ubuhle bemvelo awuzobonani imvelo nobuhle bomnandi oh mama where my lord basho besuthi bathi Malowe Malowe
They are mutually beneficial. The relations between the United States of America and South Africa are warm, cordial, and strong. And they are mutually beneficial. The U.S. understands. Department as well as the White House. If you were to ask Secretary Blinken how many foreign ministers does he speak to as often as Dr. Naledi Pandor, he'll probably tell you she's the one I speak to more than the others. So we've got interactions at the highest levels because these are important relations between the two countries. So we don't think this bill will go anywhere, but obviously we are monitoring and engaging because we also have friends in the US, from think tanks to civil society to business to people at Congress itself. So we've got many friends, and as I said, the views of the individuals behind this bill are not shared by the US administration.
Perfect woman, a woman I can trust truthfully. Strong love as a baobab tree. So originally,
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
Have to confer the awards.
Well, good evening to you, Alicia, and to the viewers at home. We are coming to you live from the Cape Town International Convention Center. Of course, this is where tonight's Ubuntu Awards will be hosted by the Department of International Relations and Cooperations. The event was launched in 2015, and of course, we've seen many people getting awarded for the great work that they do in projecting a positive image about the country. We've seen people like international comedian and Daily Show host Trevor Noah, international DJ Black Coffee, Lady Smith Black Mambazo rather, as well as internationally renowned artist Esther Mahlangu. Of course, last year, the person that scooped the OR Tambo Lifetime Achievement Award was former IEC chairperson, Dr. Brigalia Bam. Joining me now to talk more about these awards is Clayson Monyela, a man who wears many hats. He's the moderator for these awards and head of public diplomacy. Clayson, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time. The significance of these awards.
Well, first, can I just say, this is a fever blister for the record. You mustn't think somebody was trying to bite me. So the Annual Ubuntu Awards, this is the 8th edition of the awards. They were launched by the Department of International Relations and Cooperation because we thought it's important to recognize South Africans, individuals, organizations, companies, NGOs, who in their chosen fields are excelling, at the same time flying the South African flag high on the global stage. By doing this work, they are projecting not just the positive image of our country, but by extension become ambassadors of this country. And it's important as diplomats to realize that we're not the only ambassadors of South Africa. There's South Africans who are doing this amazing work globally also represent the values of this country that we cherish, and it's important to pause annually to recognize those that would have excelled in a particular year. Some over a long period of time, because we've got a category for the OR Tambo Lifetime Achievement Award, and I think you've just referred to one of the previous winners. Yeah.
And just with regards to the categories, just give us a sense of what kind of sectors are you focusing on?
Yeah, so you would know that one of the areas that we focus on as a department, as a country, is economic diplomacy. So all the embassies that we have globally, our global footprint, one of the key areas that the Minister Naledi Pandor, has instructed our ambassadors and our diplomats to focus on is economic diplomacy. So we attract investments, FDIs back into the country. We push the file of trade with those countries. Now, there are South African companies that have also invested in the continent and also in other regions of the world. I mean, if you are in the UK, you'd probably go to about 45 outlets of Nando's. Now, when you get into any shop of Nando's, you hear South African music, you see South African paintings everywhere. It's literally home. Those are the sort of companies that we recognize in this category of economic diplomacy. And then, of course, you've got people who are excelling in sports, young people. I'm sure all of us were happy that Amabogo did what they did. And then you've got people who are excelling in cultural diplomacy, music, arts, stage, acting, film, that sort of thing. So it's various categories. So we try and cover the full spectrum of what we call diplomacy and recognize everybody who's flying the flag high.
Now, as the moderator for these awards, can you give us a sense of the shortlist or the nominees for this year's awards?
Sure, it's a very long list. I mean, for example...
Just briefly.
For example, if you are talking about the cultural diplomacy category, we had a lot of people nominated. Your Tusombedu, this lady who was the lead actor in Shaka Ilembe, I forgot her name. DJs that are doing very well, having gigs in about 12, 13 countries. So it's a very long list. The judges had a very difficult job to decide who would win. And we've got some of the high-profile people in this country presiding over as judges. Yotebe Kalafeng, Chichima Ponya, Dr. Stembile Mbete, Ambassador Maud Lomo, Robert Marawa, Leanne Manas, your colleague. So they had a very difficult job deciding who would win in each of the categories because South Africans had nominated a lot of people.
I'm sure that's a very tough job, but let's take a focus now on international affairs. There's a proposed bill in the US Congress around reviewing the relations between the two countries. As a department, how are you receiving those news?
I expected you to ask that question. So the relations between the United States of America and South Africa are warm, cordial, and strong. And they are mutually beneficial. The U.S. understands this, and we also understand this. So these are relations that are very important to the two countries. It's not the first time that some few individuals think they must push bills of this nature, and we understand this is a reaction to South Africa taking Israel to the ICJ. So we expected some reaction, but we're not worried because the views of these individuals behind this bill are not shared by the US administration. How do I know? Because we are in constant contact with our US counterparts, both at the State Department as well as at the White House. If you were to ask Secretary Blinken, how many foreign ministers does he speak to as often as Dr. Naledi Pandor? He'll probably tell you she's the one I speak to more than the others. So we've got interactions at the highest levels because these are important relations between the two countries. So we don't think this bill will go anywhere, but obviously we are monitoring and engaging because we also have friends in the US, from think tanks to civil society to business to people at Congress itself. So we've got many friends, and as I said, the views of the individuals behind this bill are not shared by the US administration.
All right, thank you so much. Clayson Monyela, Head of Public Diplomacy at the Department of International Relations and Corporations. For more on these awards, make sure that you stay tuned to SABC News. We will be bringing you live the keynote address by Deputy President Paul Mashatile at around 7:20. For now, we're going to cross back to
Excellency, Mr. Paul Mashatile, accompanied by Minister of International Relations and Cooperation and our host, Dr. Naledi Pandor, and remain standing for our national anthem.
Andiyacela ndiphathise kulula isandla sakho andifuna ufana nabanikezela kugcwele izinto ezinhle nezimbi Nhliziyo yabangcalile mkopozi Eunyana wami Ena uyashata namhla Vulindlela Wemanyamuza Sumanomoni Unyana wami uthathile Bengingazi Yamona makoti Unyana wami Uchongile this time Mahadebe Ugetokweni Uzemchadeni Yashakisanandane Benesit Nyana wami ulikoni Benesit Angeka shake kulinila Wema mkomozi Nyana wami Yena uyashata namka Kulinila Wema nyawuza Sukadomoni Kunyana wami uthathile Benesit Nyana wami ulikoni Benesit Angeka shake kulinila Wema mkomozi Kulinila Yegelumoma Opa!
Ladies and gentlemen, you may now take your seat. Here is a few house rules to note. This show is live on television, radio, and on social media platforms. Therefore, may you please keep your phone on silent unless you're expecting a phone call from His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa. To answer the call of nature, outside of this auditorium on your left and right-hand side, you will find ablution facilities for your convenience. Welcome to the Mother City, the home of the Ubuntu Awards. In case you didn't know, according to Forbes and Time Out magazine and me, Cape Town is the second best city in the world for its global allure and cultural richness. This accolade was bestowed on the Mother City after tapping into the pulse of thousands of urbanites worldwide. Cape Town is also once again the 50 most Instagrammable places in the world for the 6th time. According to this year's stats, the city grabbed mentions in the millions, with Instagram boasting a whopping 14 million and TikTok a staggering 6.6 billion mentions.
There's music in the air. It makes the sorrow go. Let the music take you there. Far from the world alone. You can feel it when you sing. Joy in everything. Well made for love. If ever someday you'll come to need a song, I'll show you every joy in everything. Well made for love. Look for love in the music, lost in the melody. You'll find love. Look for love.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 8th Annual Ubuntu Awards. Your presenters for this evening are Ms. Masego Ratlaga and Mr. Aldrin Sampier.
Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, it's so lovely to be with you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. And I'm sure a lot of you have already been told, but I want to repeat that you all look absolutely exquisite this evening. Welcome to the 2024 Ubuntu Awards. Now, let me just start off with a reminder that on Thursday, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa reminded the nation that 2024 marks 30 years since our democracy, and we attained freedom and democracy during this time 30 years ago. We are a relatively young nation, but we have achieved so much.
And that's what tonight is all about. We're here to celebrate South African citizens who play an active role in projecting a positive image of the country internationally. Through excellence in their chosen fields, these South African citizens serve as ambassadors of our nation wherever they go. I am Aldrin Sampier. You may mispronounce my name, but I'm Aldrin Sampier.
And I am Masego Ratlaga. And of course, once again,
welcome to the 2024 Ubuntu Awards.
Let me start off with this. On behalf of our official host this evening, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Dr. Naledi Pandor, I would like to welcome you to the Annual Ubuntu Awards 2024. Now in its 8th year, the Ubuntu Awards were established by the Department of International Relations and Cooperation to recognize South African industry leaders, eminent persons, organizations, and ordinary South African citizens for their distinguished service and contribution in promoting South Africa's national interests and value across the globe.
Yes, indeed, and we are thankful because through their dedication and their outstanding performance, these individuals or groups successfully contribute to the promotion of brand South Africa worldwide. A very warm welcome to the sponsors who have partnered with DIRCO and make tonight's event possible. Well, there are the sponsors. I would also like to welcome our viewers across the African continent on the SABC News Channel 404, our listeners on the Ubuntu Radio, as well as those following the award ceremony live on social media. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful to be here with you tonight. Before we begin the proceedings of this evening, last year we lost several prominent diplomats, including former Deputy Minister Aziz Pahad and Ambassador Billy Masetle.
Now we have also witnessed, of course, Aldrin, several conflicts currently raging across the world, resulting in many casualties for the men, women and children caught in the crossfires in the occupied Palestinian territories, Israel, Sudan, Yemen and Ukraine. May I please request that we all observe a moment of silence.
Can we please stand as we observe this moment of silence? And may their souls rest in peace. Thank you.
Now, a few months ago, DIRCO asked South Africa to nominate individuals and organizations in various categories. The country answered, as in the past years, the nomination came flooding in. There are many, or were many notable nominations, presenting the panel of judges with the exciting challenge of sifting through the considerations and motivation to identify this year's winners of the prestigious Ubuntu Awards.
I want to know, where are the people who are nominating me? Continue, guys. I've been doing this for 3 years now. When is my nomination coming? When is my nomination coming? By the way, Masego, you know that previous Ubuntu Awards recipients include superstars such as Caster Semenya, Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and Trevor Noah. Some of you may recall that Trevor Noah, when he started off his comedy, you know, he used to call himself Daywalker. I don't know how many people remember Daywalker. DW. He used to say that people used to believe that he lives with albinism, and that's the reason why they would say, wow, have you seen Trevor? Trevor walks in the day. During the day, he's a day walker. And speaking about Trevor, he just hosted the Grammy Awards for the 4th time, where another South African, Tyla, won her first Grammy Award. This makes her the youngest African to win a Grammy at the age of 22.
Well, of course, Deputy President, we did see the President do the water challenge this week. He did actually do a bit of twerking, so maybe some of us can probably convince the Deputy President to try that challenge as well. But Alden, it sounds like you know more about Trevor. Tell us more.
Well, certainly. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah won the Outstanding Variety Series Emmy, making him the first African with that award. I'm sure we can all agree that winning an award for what is part of the American fabric as a young comedian from a whole other continent is a mean feat. I think Trevor Noah deserves a round of applause.
He absolutely does, Alvin. And so do our back-to-back Rugby World Cup champions, of course, the Springboks, proudly led by Captain Siago Lisi and the brilliant coaching staff working with Rassie Erasmus. Of course, we cannot forget when South Africa flexed its diplomatic muscle by running successful campaigns that saw advocate Thembile Joyini elected as judge of the International Tribunal of the Law of Sea, and recently Professor Diretladi elected to the International Court of Justice bench. In fact, he took up that office this month. Congratulations, Dr. Naledi Pandor, of course, and DG Zane Dango and the DIRCO team for this. As we head to the elections this year, 30 years into democracy, our country has so much to celebrate. Thanks to these South Africans flying the flag so high around the globe.
Yes. So, Masiko, you've reminded me that our country is amazing. Remember in 1996, just shortly after South Africa returned to the international sport, Bafana Bafana raised the South African flag so high by winning the Africa Cup of Nations. They were back at it this year, reaching the semi-finals. Don't laugh. They reached the semi-finals.
They did.
The Super Eagles is a very tough team to beat, and I would say that they really had a good tournament. What would you guys say? I think that Bafana Bafana really played well. Bafana Bafana really played well. But speaking of champions, how brilliant was mixed martial arts fighter Dricus du Plessis' performance at the UFC Championship a few weeks ago? He has undoubtedly put South Africa on the MMA map as the new world middleweight champion.
Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, South Africa will be hosting the G20 Summit next year. Get this, this will be the very first time that the G20 Summit is hosted on the African continent, and we get to actually be the first host. Now, the Group of 20 is a forum comprising of 19 of the most industrialized countries in the world, plus the European Union. South Africa is the only country that is a permanent member of the G20, and this is why South Africa led the charge and lobbied for the African Union to be admitted as a member. Last year, straight after South Africa hosted a successful BRICS summit, I think we all agree, very successful BRICS summit, the African Union admitted as a permanent member during the G20 summit in India. How's about that?
Well, amazing. This, in fact, means that our continent and the Global South now have an additional voice and on key global issues.
Now, on the business of the day, I'm sure this is what everyone is, of course, waiting for, the presentation of the awards. Tonight, our sponsors will announce winners in the following categories: the Ubuntu Economic Diplomacy Award, Africa and Global, Ubuntu Social Responsibility Award, Ubuntu Sports Diplomacy Award, the Ubuntu Youth Diplomacy Award, Ubuntu Arts and Cultural Diplomacy Award, Veteran and Youth, and of course the big one, the OR Tambo Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, that's the massive one. But before we get to the awards, let me take this opportunity to invite the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Dr. Naledi Pandor, to welcome us and introduce the keynote speaker. After the excellencies have spoken, we'll then get on with the awards. Minister, please come and join us on stage.
Thank you very much, Program Directors, Aldrin and Masiko, Ministers, in fact, Deputy President Mashatile, Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, all esteemed members of the diplomatic corps present here this evening, members of Parliament, leaders of the business community, our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to warmly welcome you on behalf of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation to this auspicious occasion. My welcome remarks tonight will be brief so that I can hand over to our guest of honor, Deputy President Mashatile, who will deliver the keynote address. I'm sure the ambassadors are excited that the Deputy President is here because you're always listening to boring old me. And we are thrilled to have him tonight. This is the 8th time our department has hosted the Ubuntu Awards to recognize South African citizens and organizations that fly the South African flag high on the global stage. Through excelling in their chosen fields, these patriots have become our country's ambassadors. They shouldn't come and look for jobs from me because they're already ambassadors. When the world sees them, they see South Africa. I wish to thank all the heads of mission who represent their countries in our country for having been so gracious by accepting our invitation each year and joining us always in celebrating the men and women we honor today. We're immensely proud of all our Ubuntu Award winners and nominees, and this is a wonderful occasion for celebrating your achievements. After hearing how each of you have contributed meaningfully in your fields of expertise and held the South African flag high on the international stage, we always feel inspired to strive harder to make a difference in the lives of others. You are all contributing in your own way to making this world a more humane and kinder one. Making a world in which those who have the means to do good for the benefit of others, expecting no reward other than the knowledge that one has made the life of another just a little bit better. You are also helping to mentor future leaders and social activists who will build a better world. I'm really thrilled to conclude by exercising the distinct pleasure of welcoming to the stage His Excellency our Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, to present his keynote address. But before he comes up, just in case you don't know who he is our Deputy President. He is Deputy President of the governing party, the African National Congress. He has served in a range of important roles in the executive in our country, from provincial level through to national level, and is well deserving of the position of Deputy President of South Africa today. Excellency, Deputy President Mashatile, could I invite you to present your keynote address? Thank you very much.
Program directors, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Dr. Naledi Pandor and Mr. Pandor, ministers, deputy ministers, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, esteemed members of the diplomatic corps, members of parliament, directors generals, and senior government officials, leaders of business community, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Sanibonani, riperile, dimatekwa, huyenant. I consider it a privilege to be present at this evening's prestigious event, which acknowledges outstanding individuals in South African industries, as well as notable citizens who have made significant contributions to advancing South Africa's national interests and values across the globe. We used to have a byline as part of promoting our country that says that South Africa is alive with possibilities, without suggesting that we must go back to it. I believe that this event served as a reflection that our future is indeed bright. Ladies and gentlemen, these awards take place a few days after President Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa, delivered the 6th administration final State of the Nation address. The President delivered a deeply moving address that recounted the critical path of our young democracy. The analogy of Tintswalo resonated with many South Africans, some of whom will be honored tonight. The President's reference to the Tintswalo solely serves as an indication of the bare minimum achievements that South Africa has achieved over the last 3 decades. We are cognizant that some Tintswalo may appear to be an unattainable ambition for a variety of reasons. But as government, we want the life of Tintswalo to mirror the life of every person and the possibility that exists for all South Africans, possibilities that exceed Tintswalo's wildest dreams. To achieve this, we must all come together as government, NGOs, private sector, and communities to build a society that will see everyone with equal opportunities. To express reference to Ubuntu in the interim constitution created hope of an equal and just society, which does not discriminate between people on the grounds of their culture, race, gender, or religious beliefs. As the ANC-led government, we are committed to ensuring that South Africa maintains its position as a prominent nation in diverse sectors in the coming years, thereby effecting positive change both domestically and internationally. We are humbled to be here this evening with many of you who have tirelessly worked to ensure that the spirit of Ubuntu is a reality for a great number of South Africans. As the Ubuntu Awards enters its 8th year of existence, these awards continue to demonstrate that our country is an important participant in the international community. For many years, South Africa did not feature positively in global discourse. However, the past 3 decades have seen increased recognition of South Africa's contribution across various sectors. While we can only recognize a few people tonight, we are aware that around the country, numerous people have represented South Africa in various projects in research, in education and training, in sport, arts and culture, and business and corporate affairs over the last year. It is South African tradition to honor and celebrate those amongst us who have distinguished themselves in their fields while championing the concept and values of Ubuntu. We are proud as government to know that many South Africans hold positions of influence on global platforms. And we are proud of the success stories of South Africans around the world who reflect what South Africa believes, which is firmly rooted in the notion of Ubuntu. Ubuntu is an ancient African philosophy that is rooted in having compassion for others. It is an affirmation of our humanity, which also affirms the humanity of others. As South Africans, we firmly believe in the idea of I am because you are. In reflecting on the true meaning underpinning tonight's event, I recall the words of our great former statesman, President Nelson Mandela, when he said, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Close quote. Compatriots, when our country emerged from the dark past of apartheid, where people were oppressed and excluded because of their race, we were as a nation determined to celebrate the truly African philosophy of Ubuntu. As a compass for our journey over the past 30 years, the philosophy of Ubuntu has played a major role in the forging of a South African national consciousness and guided us throughout the process of our democratic transformation, social cohesion, and nation building. Since 1994, the international community has looked to South Africa to play a leading role in championing the values of human rights, democracy, reconciliation, and the eradication of poverty and underdevelopment. We believe that South Africa has risen to the challenge and continue to make a meaningful contribution in the pursuit of these goals in our region, on the continent, and globally. South Africa's unique perspective on global issues have found expression in the concept of Ubuntu, which informs our approach to diplomacy and shapes our vision for a better world for all. It was the commonly shared values of Ubuntu that motivated us as government to mobilize our sharpest legal minds to prepare a solid case to be presented to the International Court of Justice in the hopes of arresting the genocide in Gaza, which the United Nations Secretary General has called an unprecedented catastrophe. If Madiba were alive today, he would never have remained silent in the face of genocide, ethnic cleansing, or gross human rights abuses. He would have moved mountains to try to end the Israeli military onslaught on the people of Palestine, especially in Gaza, and to have Hamas release the civilians as well, the civilian hostages. Taking the case to the World Court to bring about an end to this human tragedy would have been his priority, no matter what it costs. And I want on this occasion to also take this opportunity to congratulate Minister Pando and Minister Lamula, who led our teams as we were pursuing that course. At the end of the day, what do we have if not our principles? We have demonstrated to the world that South Africa's human rights informed our foreign policy and did not end with Madiba. We are, as children of Madiba, committed today to the universality of human rights, as we always were, to the struggle for justice, for freedom, and self-determination. The struggle of the people of Palestine is our struggle. It is our struggle, as it should be, for all freedom-loving people of the world. It is, however, concerning that 2 weeks after the court's ruling, Israel has continued its indiscriminate bombing of Gaza, killing hundreds of civilians, and it has failed to ensure that the civilian population receive adequate humanitarian aid and medical care, as well as the essential required to sustain human life, such as food, water, electricity. We will stand hand in hand with the Palestinians until they achieve their freedom. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Close quote. Ladies and gentlemen, whether in conflict resolution or diplomacy, international relation work is not the exclusive domain of government, but requires input and participation by citizens. South Africa is a diverse quilt of incredibly talented people who are deeply committed to the work they do, and many have succeeded in making the nation incredibly proud. It is thus wonderful that we have such an evening where we highlight these achievements, honor those who have made significant strides globally, and inspire others to emulate their example. I trust that the stories we have heard and those who are going to hear tonight would have left us feeling inspired and will give us all the courage to choose the path less traveled. I would like to sincerely congratulate all nominees and award winners tonight, not only for being global ambassadors and flying our flag high, but also for contributing to your fields for the benefit of others and making our world a better place. Our envoys for economic diplomacy play an increasingly important and prominent role, as we need to urgently stimulate economic growth if we are to lift our people out of poverty and make South Africa a better place to live in. We must recognize businesses that have contributed to South Africa's reputation as an ideal destination to conduct business. The Mining Indaba 2024, held over the past few days under the theme, Making South Africa a Favorable Destination for Mining Investments, is also one of the strategic platforms for South African businesses to advance their interests, but also the interests of the nation. Such efforts will help us achieve our socio-economic goals to create jobs, facilitate trade, and attract investments. We are also cognizant of the fact that South Africa's exports go beyond goods and services, as we are a country that is also rich in the arts, rich in culture, sport, science, and ideas. The various categories of these prestigious awards are indicative of the fact that successful diplomacy is indeed an integrated effort. Program directors, in closing, I would like once again to thank the Minister and Deputy Minister for their continued leadership in this sector and congratulate them on hosting this successful ceremony. You can already see it's successful, full house. I also want to thank other ministers and deputy ministers who are here, all the colleagues, for their support as well. Let me also take this opportunity to thank all the diplomats who are here tonight for the sterling role they play in implementing our foreign policy. And lastly but not least, thank our nominees for the part they play in making our country a success and shaping the narrative at the global stage about what it means to be South African. I wish all of you the best as you continue working towards making South Africa a prosperous country for the current and future generations. Thank you very much, and let's enjoy the evening. Akensa Inko.
Thank you very much, Deputy President, for that lovely speech. And of course, Aldrin, you know, you and I are a Dintswalo. I'm definitely a Dintswalo, but I'm glad the Deputy President also does say, of course, that the plan is to have everyone become a Dintswalo.
Well, I was saying that I was hoping that the Deputy President will take you up on your challenge a bit earlier on. Deputy President, what the heck? We're hoping for the Deputy President to do...
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to present the awards, the moment we all have been waiting for. The first award is for economic diplomacy. Let me just explain to you what this is. Diplomacy, of course, consists of many moving parts. Besides building and maintaining relations with other countries across the world, it includes forming solid economic ties and fostering trade opportunities between South Africa and other countries. Diplomacy also allows our country to participate in and shape and also influence policies and operations of continental and global economic bodies, such as the African Continental Free Trade Area, which presents a significant opportunity for African countries to bring 30 million people out of extreme poverty and to raise the income of 68 million others.
While economic diplomacy is anchored on pursuing the growth of a country's economy by increasing trade, promoting investment, and attracting foreign direct investment. To present this evening's first Ubuntu Award 2024 in the category of Ubuntu Economics Diplomacy for Africa is the continent's largest mobile network operator, the MTN Group. The company finds inspiration in Africa's potential, committing itself to bridging the digital divide by furthering financial inclusion and advancing the attainment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Through their core business activities and support to governments, communities, as well as their customers. MTN was launched at the dawn of our democracy, and as it celebrates its 30th anniversary, the company has expanded its footprint across Africa and the Middle East. Please welcome Nompilo Murafe, who is the Group Executive for Sustainable Development and Corporate Affairs, on stage to present the award for economic diplomacy.
At MTN, we are committed to our role as an enabler, growing the economies we operate in by building resilience and bridging Africa's connectivity gap through broadband access, digital and financial inclusion, and socio-economic development. We continue to realize these goals under the guidance of our Ambition 2025 strategy. On our journey to 2025 and beyond, we stand together for our continent, together for its people, and together for a connected, sustainable, and prosperous future.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, yellow. On behalf of MTN Group, we are pleased to once again be part of this very prestigious awards tonight. It is my pleasure to present the Economic Diplomacy Award for Africa to a company that we work so closely with across the continent. And without any further ado, the winner is MTN. Joking. Multi-choice.
Africa's leading entertainment platform, the MultiChoice Group delivers entertainment products and services to over 23.5 million households across 50 countries in Africa. With a track record of over 38 years in operation, MultiChoice creates and licenses exceptional local and international content, including award-winning programming in 40 languages. MultiChoice ensures that their viewers enjoy a seamless entertainment experience anytime, anywhere, and on any device. By creating employment opportunities, nurturing emerging talents in film and sports, and supporting local businesses, MultiChoice strives to make a meaningful contribution to society.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. On behalf of MultiChoice, especially the staff of MultiChoice, scattered across 50 countries on the continent, we'd like to thank you very much for the recognition. They continue to work very hard, diligently, flying the South African flag high, through the cooperation with the government, who has promoted inter-African trade. We continue to invest a lot in the 50 countries that we operate in. We have built film industries which are second to none on the continent. African stories are continuing to resonate across the globe, thanks to our government initiative through their policies, that make it easier for us to invest across the continent. We have not stopped there, however. We have partnered with one of the biggest initiatives in the world to try to preserve the world in terms of the environment. Our partnership with Earthshot, and today I'm happy that we are joined by the CEO, Hannah Jones, who through our partnership has embraced us and made sure that the Earthshot Prize comes to Cape Town this year. Without spending more time on the stage, I would like to thank the government for the support that they've given us throughout the years, and will remain loyal to South Africa and the African continent. And thank you very much.
You're forgetting your... Congratulations, multi-choice. Now, I shall not deny or confirm that rumor that I appear on a multi-choice platform each and every week or monthly.
Yes.
Now, Excellency, South Africa's reputation hinges on several aspects, and the way in which our homegrown companies conduct their business globally has a massive impact on how countries in which these companies actually operate view South Africa, right? Of course, Aldrin, you can tell us about one of those companies.
Well, it is the BMW Group South Africa. It's one of the world's leading premium manufacturers of automobiles and motorcycles. The BMW Group production network is vast, and it makes me proud to mention that the group holds the honor of having the first BMW plant outside Germany, an investment that began 51 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Dr. Jur Kamina, who is the Group Chief Financial Officer, to present the next award. I hope that everybody noticed how you just decided to stop, watch, and slap some respect on those cars.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is always a great honor to be part of the Ubuntu Awards to celebrate our country's citizens who proudly wear the South African flag on their sleeves and promote the country with absolute excellence. This year's winner of the Ubuntu Economic Diplomacy Award Global is exemplary. Similar to the BMW Group, this company places innovation and design at the center of its operations. And I want to add something else. The person behind the global success of this company even has the ability to making us looking better. And that is not an easy task, as all of you are looking great already. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2024 Ubuntu Economic Diplomacy Award is Maxhosa Africa.
Maxhosa Africa is a luxury South African institution established in 2010, specializing in premium knitwear. Maxhosa Africa celebrates traditional African beadwork aesthetics using South African mohair and wool. Laduma Ngokolo, the founder, draws inspiration from ethnic art and heritage, with the brand's core pillars being Ubuntu and culture. Evolved and created in a modernized fashion, the label translates into a form that resonates worldwide with multiple global fashion markets. The brand takes pride in owning its production facility, shaping a new narrative for businesses of design. Maxhosa Africa has won a string of awards for its knitwear range. The brand's exceptional craftsmanship and quality have garnered international attention, leading to displays in prestigious museums such as the Smithsonian and the MoMA museums in the USA.
Evening, Vice President, Minister, and all the delegates that are here tonight. This is a very nervous moment for me because when I started the brand, literally, I had a lot of people that asked me, why would you dare call a brand a cultural name? But I insisted that it is time as South Africans, we celebrate our cultures, we celebrate one another, we celebrate our heritage, history, and not let our cultural artifacts only sit in museums. Our work is inspired by traditional Xhosa beadwork. We also do take inspiration from other cultures and make sure that we showcase our beauty as Africans to the world. And I'd like to thank DECO. We've knocked at the DECO offices a lot of times in the past 14 years since we started the brand, and they've graciously opened their doors at their embassies in Nigeria, Ethiopia, and a lot of countries around the world. I humbly appreciate that gesture. That is a great sign of Ubuntu. I believe that Ubuntu, the word Ubuntu, cannot really be interpreted into other languages. Ubuntu is having the humility to welcome a stranger in your home, as the great Nelson Mandela said, welcome someone in your home to drink water and have food with you. We are in the business of selling Ubuntu as brand Maxhosa. We are in the business of selling African art. We are in the business of selling culture, which is the core of our business. At the current moment, we have 300 staff members and looking into recruiting hundreds of other people within our organization. The African luxury is still a new industry that we stumbled upon, and we're brave enough to position our brand around the world. We position our brand next to your Louis Vuittons, Mont Blancs, Gucci's, with confidence, because we believe that culture is important, culture can be luxury, and we believe that every country has brands as their backbone, as their economic driving force. France has Louis Vuitton, France has various other brands. South Africa is creating a lot of brands that will push the economic agenda of the country. I am also making a call to Vice President as well to strengthen our task force, that they should clean counterfeits as well, so that we can do our work comfortably. Because we are serving a mandate as well. We are working with government to make sure that South Africa becomes a great country that it once was. Thank you.
Something in Yana. Latuma, how jacket in Yana? How faith? How
He's just ignoring us.
Ubuntu. Congratulations to Maxhosa Africa. What a brand. By the way, do you guys remember when the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, was in the country quite recently? Did you see the dress that she was wearing? That gentleman over there. All of his work. Well done, Latuma. Well done. So social responsibility is an opportunity for an individual or organization to contribute towards building and uplifting their communities by dedicating resources to activities that lead to realizing that upliftment. The company presenting this award is no stranger to social responsibility. Vodacom recognizes that its employees and customers are part of the same communities that are therefore committed to finding ways to ensure that they uplift those communities. Ambassador Taki Nachitenze is the Chief Officer, External Affairs, Executive Director for Vodacom South Africa and also the Chairperson of the Vodacom Foundation.
Good evening. What an honor to be here tonight to recognize the worthy recipient of this year's Ubuntu Social Responsibility Award. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in the room, the winner is Rescue South Africa.
Rescue South Africa was formed in 2001 after the realization of a search and rescue skills shortage in Southern Africa. Rescue SA has three primary objectives: to respond to sudden onset disasters by providing technical rescue skills, to build a cache of equipment for training and response, and to build capacity by offering high-quality rescue training. Their vision is to offer humanitarian services worldwide. Rescue SA has training programs in several countries, including Botswana, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Swaziland, Namibia, Madagascar, and Zambia. Rescue South Africa has also proudly responded to sudden onset disasters in Mozambique, India, Iran, Algeria, Haiti, Japan, Pakistan, Philippines, Malawi, the DRC, and various calls in South Africa. Rescue South Africa believes that search and rescue response is a powerful diplomatic tool that displays solidarity when a country is in need.
Mr. Deputy President, Minister Pando, Cabinet Ministers, Chairperson and Deputy Chairperson of the NCRP, Ministers of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, and all protocols observed. I stand before you on behalf of Rescue South Africa with immense gratitude and humility as we receive the prestigious Ubuntu Award for the second time. This recognition is not just a testament to our organization, but also the celebration of the collaborative spirit that defines the essence of rescue efforts. Rescue is a symphony of efforts, and today we extend our heartfelt appreciation to the remarkable individuals and institutions that form the backbone of Rescue South Africa's volunteer team. Our sincere gratitude goes to the dedicated members from the Nelson Mandela University, the University of Johannesburg, SAP's Canine Rescue Unit, and the selfish volunteers hailing from various emergency services and private ambulance services. This accolade is more than just a trophy. It's an acknowledgement of the power and unity, the compassion and shared humanity. It serves as a beacon, a shining light on the fact that when Africans come together, not only can we overcome our challenges, but we can also extend our hand to assist the neighbors and those in need around the world. In times of crisis, Rescue South Africa has had the privilege of showcasing resilience and kindness inherent in the African spirit. By rendering aid to others, we demonstrate that Africans are not just passive recipients of assistance, but active contributors to the global well-being. We embrace the opportunity to showcase the best of our continent, providing that we are good citizens of the world. This award is not just a recognition of our past accomplishments, but a call to continue our mission with renewed vigor. It provides us with a fantastic foreign affairs opportunity to strengthen our bonds with international community. As we extend the hand of friendship, we reaffirm to our partners and those close allies and friends we are standing united in the face of adversity. Let the Ubuntu Award be a symbol of hope, unity, and unwavering commitment of Rescue South Africa to make a positive impact in the world. Together, as we celebrate this achievement, let us remember that the true success lies not in receiving accolades, but in the difference we make in the lives of those we serve. Thank you.
SA, of course, and you know, I was going to say, Alvin, I would be so afraid to work under Ms. Neshiteze, because she was standing promptly, knowing that her time is coming up, and she wasted no time. So I think she's probably one of those people who want you to be on time for everything. Congratulations once again. All right, now, as former president and the very first democratically elected president in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, said decades ago, sports has the power to unify the country, and 30 years later, those words have actually proven to be the absolute truth. Over the years, of course, we have seen sport bring together South Africans from all over the backgrounds, congregating in their homes, in pubs, shopping centers, stadiums, and many other places to clear or to cheer on our country's finest as they take on the world's best in various tournaments. Sports is a powerful force to foster social cohesion.
Well, Southern Sun Hotels is the leading hospitality company in Southern Africa, combining an established 50-year heritage with a professional and energized approach. The group proudly encompasses over 100 hotels across the sectors of the market in South Africa, Africa, the Seychelles, as well as the Middle East. To present the Ubuntu Sports Diplomacy Award is Southern Sun Sales and Revenue Director, Ms. Lindelwa Isabel.
Good evening, all protocol observed. Thank you so much to the MCs, ladies and gentlemen. As we all know, our country is still in celebration mode after the sterling performance of the leadership of this year's Ubuntu Sport Diplomacy Award winner. He and his team generated multiple historical accolades for South Africa, and they reminded us once again why it is great to be a South African and why we as Southern Sun are also proud to partner with this team. Congratulations to one of the most capable leaders of our country, a person who has excelled in the sporting field as well as in his own community. He is humble, he is a great leader, and I have the honor of acknowledging our winner, Mr. Sia Kolisi.
Was born in 1991 in Port Elizabeth. He is a South African professional rugby union player who currently captains the South African national team. Having formerly played for the Stormers and the Sharks in South Africa, he currently plays for a French professional rugby union club, Racing 92. In 2018, Kolisi was appointed captain of the Springboks, becoming the first black man to hold the position and eventually leading the South African rugby team to victory in the 2019 World Cup final in Japan. This was South Africa's third World Cup win. In 2023, the government of South Africa bestowed him with the National Order of Ikhamanga in gold for his contributions to rugby. In 2023, Kolisi captained South Africa to a historic 4th Rugby World Cup in Paris, France, and became the 2nd captain to win the World Cup back-to-back. Kolisi is one of 44 players in the world who have won the Rugby World Cup on multiple occasions and one of 25 South Africans to do so.
It is a very different looking Siya Kolisi, I must say. Very, very different. But ladies and gentlemen, Siya Kolisi recently relocated to Paris in France, where he is now a member of the French rugby team Racing 92, and he has sent us this message.
Hello everyone, Siya Kolisi here. I would like to take this moment to say thank you to everybody who's voted for me for the award. And yeah, I'll always give everything for the country, for the sport that I play in, because in whatever I do, I'm always representing South Africa, and I take that responsibility with great pride. And yeah, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to representing the country wherever I go and flying the flag high. So thank you, and have a great evening or day. Cheers.
To receive the award on behalf of Captain Siya Kolisi is Norman Nwana.
You can come and say hi, Norman.
Just say
How
hi.
Norman? How Norman?
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Siya, he said he couldn't be here because of his family responsibilities, and as he said, like he's playing for the racing in Paris, he had to leave early. Got a call that he had to rush to Paris. He just left, I think about an earlier 1 hour before. So yeah, on his behalf, I would like to say thank you.
I have to say, for a second there, I thought Norman is going to tell us about the water in Gqeberha. Because Ronan Williams is from Gqeberha as well, so clearly there's something about Gqeberha.
There's some water, there's something in the water.
There's something about the water. Well, remember, Tyler does sing.
In the water.
Make me water. Make me hotter. Congratulations once again to Captain Siya Kolisi.
Our Captain Siya Kolisi, of course, congratulations from us. I, for one, am experiencing FOMO or some withdrawal symptoms somehow from actually watching World Cups. Back in 2023, that was the year of World Cups, and our teams were truly outstanding on the field. I think I miss more the patriotism amongst us. We were so positive during that time.
Yeah, well, Bafana nearly got us there. Nearly got us there. Still proud of them. Still proud of them. We have two winners in this next category this evening. Founded in 1888, Nedbank is a commercial banking institution based in Sandton, South Africa, the richest square mile. The bank offers a wide range of wholesale and retail banking services through its main business clusters, namely Nedbank Corporate and Investment Banking, also Nedbank Retail and Business Banking, as well as Nedbank Wealth. To present the second winner, please welcome Mr. Daniel Minele, Chairman of Nedbank.
Together, we've created a space that goes beyond boundaries, a space where dreams take flight. Through sport and this initiative, we empower the next generation. Our kits are more than just uniforms. They are a symbol of unity and shared aspirations. We're back to build our 9th multi-purpose sports court, keeping our commitment to our communities. Together, we play for a brighter future.
Thank you, Program Directors, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. It's a real privilege for Nedbank to be associated with this year's Ubuntu Awards. And as you have seen, Nedbank has for many years been supporting various sporting codes. Many of you will be familiar with the Nedbank Cup in soccer, the Nedbank Golf Challenge, the Nedbank Runners Club, the Mountain Bike Challenge, the Tour de Tuli, and it is a great honor for us to announce the winner in the Sports Diplomacy Award in the female category, to an outstanding individual, a football legend, somebody who has not just made us proud by donning our national shirt no less than 185 times, making this outstanding footballer the highest kept African. And interestingly, you might think, just in the female categories, that includes men and female, all genders. And the winner is none other than former Banyana Banyana defender and captain, Ms. Janine van Wyk.
Janine van Wyk is the former captain of South Africa's women's national football team, Banyana Banyana. She has participated in 2 Olympic Games, namely the 2012 Summer Olympics in London and the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. She became the first captain to lead Banyana Banyana to a Women's World Cup appearance at the 2019 Women's World Cup. Van Wyk captained Banyana Banyana to their first WAFCON victory in 2022. Van Wyk played her final match for South Africa on 4 December 2023, helping them secure the WAFCON qualification in a 2-0 home victory over Burkina Faso. She has also represented South Africa internationally, playing professionally in the United States of America, Scotland, and Greece. She also participated in the UEFA Women's Champions League quarterfinals. Van Wyk currently holds the record for being the highest kept footballer in Africa, male or female, with 185 appearances. She is currently a co-founder of the Janine van Wyk Girls Football Development Program, which aims to develop female football players while providing a platform for them to reach higher levels in the sport.
Good evening, everyone. As a footballer and an athlete, they don't really teach us to observe protocol. They don't really put us in a room full of ministers and diplomats and deputy presidents. So they just really say, observe all protocol. So hopefully all protocol is observed tonight. First and foremost, I am truly privileged to be part of such an esteemed gathering tonight. I would really like to express my deepest gratitude for this incredible honor. Accepting this prestigious award is truly a humbling experience. This recognition not only represents the culmination of years of hard work and dedication, but also symbolizes the resilience and perseverance that has defined my football journey. I've had a lengthy career of 30 years and recently retired from playing football. But I still can't pull myself out of the sporting environment, as I feel my duty is to continue with a legacy of uniting people through sport and pushing others to achieve their own dreams. I've witnessed over the years how sport has the remarkable ability to bring people together, irrespective of their backgrounds, their culture, their race, their religion, or nationality. Sport is a universal language that unites us in the pursuit of pure fulfillment in our lives. This award is not just a reflection of my individual achievements, but a testament to the collective effort of everyone who has been part of my journey. I would like to dedicate this award to all the individuals who have supported, guided, mentored, and pushed me to stay true to my dreams and remain resilient in the face of challenges. Without these individuals, I would not be standing here tonight receiving this amazing award. As we celebrate this moment, let us also reflect on the transformative power of sports to inspire positive change in our communities. Through teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to uplifting others, we can build a world where the principles of Ubuntu guide our collective journey. In conclusion, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the Ministry for this incredible recognition. I'm truly honored, and I promise to continue to inspire and uplift others throughout my journey. Thank you.
Imagine that, eh?
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
You know, she makes me feel like I'm not doing anything with my life.
Like you're an underachiever.
I'm an underachiever at this point.
But I guess
Congratulations.
underachiever then also goes to all football players on the continent, because none of them are as kept as many times as Janine. Well done. Well done.
So this category that we're moving to, I've decided to call it the Dintswalo category ever since the President delivered his State of the Nation address on Thursday. South Africa, of course, having a large youth populace. Excellencies rather. The youth are full of potential and are known never to be short of any ideas, innovation and energy, as well as creativity. They move at an incredibly fast speed, and it is important to harness this dynamism as they give our country hope for a better future in a better South Africa, a better Africa, and a better globe. Now, of course, the Ubuntu Youth Award goes to a young person between the age of 15 and 35 who, through his or her actions and achievements, has promoted South Africa as a dynamic country with an enabling environment, that's very important, for youth to thrive, and in their own way contributed to making South Africa and the world a better place.
While Coca-Cola Beverages Africa is the 8th largest Coca-Cola bottling partner worldwide by revenue and the biggest on the African continent, accounting for about 40% of all Coca-Cola volumes sold in Africa. They employ more than 17,000 people, half of whom are based right here in South Africa. Here to present the Ubuntu Youth Diplomacy Award, please welcome Babongile Mandela, Senior Director, Coca-Cola South Africa.
Thank you, Aldrin and Masejo. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at Coca-Cola Africa, we value the contributions of youth in nation building. We know that given the opportunity, young people are able to uncover some of the most impactful creations that help a nation achieve its potential and stand out head and shoulders above the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, as Coca-Cola Africa, we are proud to announce the winners of this category. The winner of the Youth Dintswalo Diplomacy Awards is Ms. Ncumisa Mkabile.
Ncumisa Mkabile is a 30-year-old female farmer from Khayelitsha in Cape Town. She is the founder of Dawana Fresh Produce, which specializes in crop production and poultry farming. She started farming in March 2020 when she had to close down her catering business due to the COVID-19 pandemic. She has worked with local and international brands such as UNICEF, Blue Ribbon, Sunlight, Standard Bank, Discovery Insurance, Bawan, and Trace Urban. She supplies fresh produce to local retailers as well as street vendors. She dreams of one day opening a farming academy in the township of Khayelitsha, where she will educate children on the importance of food security.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ncumisa Mkabile. I'm 30 years old. I'm a female farmer based in Khayelitsha in Cape Town. I'm the owner. I'm the owner and founder of Dawana Fresh Produce. We specialize in crop production as well as poultry farm. I would just like to share my story or my journey, because I believe that my story is a story of resilience and also of a young woman who started small with what she had. I started farming in March 2020 when I had to close down my catering business due to the pandemic. So the catering business was my only source of income, and I needed to think of a plan in order for me to generate income again. So when my catering business closed down, I had to ask myself the following questions. That, Nqumisa, are you going to sit down and complain? Nqumisa, are you going to sit down and blame the government? Or Nqumisa, are you going to take action? Because that is how I believe that we as entrepreneurs should think and operate. Instead of looking at the problem, we need to find solutions to the problems. So I started with selling hot body chickens, also known as umleqwa. At that time, I was actually doing door-to-door deliveries. So when I saw that the demand was high, I actually decided to be a supplier myself, where I would supply people who would like to start their own business while also doing door-to-door deliveries. So that is where my love and passion for farming started. I'm a self-taught farmer. I do not have any agricultural background, no experience. I gather all my information from the internet. So my biggest achievement is creating job opportunities for the people in my community, because up to date, I've created more than 20 job opportunities for the people in my community. So what I've also decided to do as a way of giving back to my community is offering free agricultural trainings for the people in my community. So what I usually do is I give them free training on basic plant production, because in my community there's a high rate of unemployment. So I usually train people for a week, and then after a week I buy them seeds. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage backyard farming. So a lot of people have actually started farming. Some of them have started farming for their own consumption. By doing so, they're cutting down on having to buy vegetables from retailers, and others have started farming to resell, so that way they'll be able to put food on their table. Up to date, I've trained more than 200 people in my community. So my dream is to be a commercial farmer where I can produce and supply my vegetables to businesses and companies all over South Africa, while also creating job opportunities. I would also love to have my own farming academy in the township of Khayelitsha, where I would train children from a young age the importance of food security. I would also like to take this opportunity and thank the Ubuntu Awards for the recognitions, because it means a lot to me. It means that I'm doing something, I'm making a difference in my community. So this award is for my community and to everyone who supported me and actually bought my product. Thank you so much.
What an achievement, what an achievement. Well done, Nqumisa, and you called it.
I told
it that
this is the person the president was talking about.
We didn't know that she's 30 years old, ladies and gentlemen. We'd just like to make that clear. But remember that the story of Tintswalo starts in 1994.
Yeah.
Nqumisa Tintswalo, well done. So, Masiko, did you know that what we are doing here today is actually public diplomacy?
Okay, well, of course it is, Alden. And actually, public diplomacy is the channel through which a country makes use of various platforms to communicate directly with the public, both domestic and foreign, thereby strengthening the relationship between South Africans and the people of other countries. It does utilize interaction dimension of diplomacy that involves a multitude of actors and networks, such as cultural events, conferences, youth exchange programs, among many others. These platforms help promote the position of a country and establish dialogue between nations and the individuals themselves. Now, the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, through its public diplomacy branch, has set up several platforms to communicate South Africa's foreign policy goals and objectives. One such platform is, of course, these awards.
Well, that's right, Masego. And on my way here this evening, I saw a copy of the Ubuntu magazine in the lobby and managed to read through the publication, which is available digitally to a global readership and gets distributed in all the countries where South Africa has diplomatic missions. So, great content, very informative, and it really gives a great view into South Africa's participation in global affairs. You should get yourself a copy of the latest edition. I guarantee you that you will not be disappointed. And then, of course, there's this.
Ubuntu. The philosophy of Ubuntu means humanity. It is reflected in the idea that we affirm our humanity when we affirm the humanity of others. South Africa's unique approach to global issues has found expression in the concept of Ubuntu and informs our particular approach to diplomacy and shapes our vision of a better world for all. Ubuntu magazine spreads South Africa's foreign policy message quarterly around the world. Its footprint extends across the globe through South Africa's embassies abroad, libraries, think tanks, research institutions, domestic, international, and VIP lounges at all South Africa's major airports. A first for South Africa and Africa. Since its launch in 2013, South Africa's first 24-hour online radio station has been setting in motion dialogue on South Africa's foreign policy. Listen live on www.ubunturadio.com. The Ubuntu Awards is yet another platform that the Department of International Relations and Cooperation has created to promote South Africa. These awards bring together 800 of the country's most influential people to recognize and celebrate the organization and the individuals who have distinguished themselves as true South African ambassadors. Ubuntu Magazine, Ubuntu Radio, Ubuntu Awards. South Africa's public diplomacy in action. Brought to you by the Department of International Relations and Cooperation.
You know, Alvin. Yes, please. You know, I suddenly have the urge to update my CV. This will probably be right at the top.
I think you must speak to Tinzalo. Sorry, you must speak to Ngumisa. Ngumisa Opi. Uzo update CV. Maybe you should get some agricultural skills as well. You know?
As well, of course. She is training more than 200 people. What a young lady. Now, I have been looking forward to this particular award and finding out who the winner of this category is. And I'm glad that my curiosity is about to be answered. Now, the Cultural Diplomacy Award recognizes South Africans who are making impressive moves in the arts and culture arena. Cultural diplomacy lends itself to a country's soft power in promoting its heart. It is a representation of who we are on a deeper level, giving the world a view into the soul of South Africa and what a culturally colorful country we really are. Now, South Africans continue to establish themselves as leaders in the arts, whether it be on stage, on the screen, through expression of a canvas, or on the international catwalks. We are never short of candidates for this award, and I'm sure our judges can attest to that, and I'm sure it was difficult even for them to actually choose a winner for this category.
Yeah, I can imagine, just listening to all of the people and the stuff that they've accomplished so far. Aspen Pharmacare has a 170-year history of excellence. It has a strong presence in both emerging and developed countries, supplying medicines and products to more than 150 countries. This extensive global presence gives Aspen Group a front seat to the activities performed by many of our wonderful ambassadors of brand South Africa abroad. As an avid supporter of South Africa's arts and culture, the group understands the impact of cultural diplomacy. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the Group Senior Executive Strategic Trade at Aspen Pharmacare, Dr. Stravos Nicolaou.
Your Excellency, our Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile, the Honourable Ministers, Excellencies, Ambassadors, High Commissioners, all the members of the Diplomatic Corps, good evening. It is indeed a great pleasure for me this evening to hand out the special award. At Aspen, we pride ourselves in identifying ways to provide people with opportunities to be creative while growing themselves at the same time, growing themselves, their careers, and their businesses. We know that the journey of combining passion and skill to transform a blank canvas into something meaningful and fulfilling for everyone who engages in it is critical. It is therefore my singular honor this evening to announce the winner of this powerful category. This individual embodies the spirit of Ubuntu, making sure that he takes the South African flag with him across the world to represent us on that international stage with the greatest pride. Congratulations to this year's winner of the Ubuntu Arts and Culture Award. Now, the Eastern Cape is having a good evening tonight. As you saw, Sia Kolisi won an award earlier. So it gives me great pleasure to announce, and I'm going to say Siyabulela Mhlegazi before he comes up, a great pleasure to announce Dr. John Kani as this year's winner.
Dr. John Kani is an actor, author, director, and playwright. He was born in New Brighton, Port Elizabeth, South Africa. He started his career in 1965 when he joined the Serpent Players drama group in Port Elizabeth and helped to create many plays that were performed to a resounding reception. In 1989, he co-founded the Market Theatre Laboratory, a drama school for young black people who would not be able to study at universities due to a lack of high school education and financial resources. The school has now become a vessel of new talents and new works with an extensive outreach program. The school celebrated 30 years in 2019 and has produced more than 300 actors working in theatre, film, and television industries in South Africa. Dr. John Kani has received a number of awards in his career, and these include a Merit Award in 1987 from the Southern Transvaal Chamber of Commerce for his contribution to the struggle for liberation through culture, a Tony Award in 1975 for Best Actor for his performances in Sizwe Banzi's Dead and The Island, the Order of Ikamanga in silver from the Government of the Republic of South Africa in 2005, an honorary officer of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire bestowed upon him by King Charles III. He has also been honored by several academic institutions in recognition of his services to the arts. Dr. John Kani is known for portraying legendary roles such as Othello in the William Shakespeare play Othello in 1987, Chaka in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films Captain America: Civil War, released in 2016, and Black Panther, released in 2018. Colonel Ulenga in Murder Mystery, released in 2019, and Rafiki in the 2019 remake of The Lion King. His latest play is titled Kunene and the King, which he co-wrote and starred in alongside Sir Anthony Sher in 2019.
Good evening, Your Excellency, Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile, Honorable Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor, and Mr. Pandor, distinguished guests and diplomatic corps and all the people. But before I start, I have to acknowledge the leading lady in the play and the film that I have been telling in my life in over 50 years, Mrs. Mandi Kani. Oh, now I've paid for my food. I recently
Mr. Deputy President and Minister turned 80 last year in August. Exactly 50 years ago, ironically, we were opening a play in the West End in London. When an important person like royalty, like top Hollywood people, they get announced that in the audience tonight, there is Lord or King or so-and-so. Please do not go home immediately. Go to the special lounge to meet these people. And they said this person was some kind of a president. I don't know who he is, because they couldn't explain. We finished the play with Winston Jonah, and we went to this reception ready to meet this important president or some president. And that's when I met O.R. Tambo. That was the president that went to visit us in the West End with Winston Jonah, with Mamu Adelaide Tambo, Robert Gesha, and Dingiswayo, and all the Lionel Ngagans. That was my first acknowledgement, my first award ever in my field. In 1975, Winston John and I won the Tony Award on Broadway. And then the critics said the most precise indictment of the evil apartheid regime. These young men are not only recognized as actors, but also as human beings. I arrive in South Africa and I get detained for that comment. And I keep saying to the security police, this is the critic who reviewed the play. I didn't say that. He said, but you caused the critic to say that. And then 15 days in solitary confinement, a piece of paper came under the cell door and I opened it. It was a massive demonstration by artists all over the world demanding the immediate release. And that's when I had realized that I have friends overseas. And it was that time I stayed with those friends. Last year, Minister Naledi Pandor, I got an invitation from Lord Chamberlain that I should attend the great banquet that will be held in England in the Buckingham Palace for the President of the Republic of South Africa. I tried to get a ticket to go there with my wife. I couldn't, and I thought about you, Minister. You could have given me a lift, can't you? And I know most of your fellows got really in trouble by giving lifts. And of course, towards the end of the year, I then received another call, this time again from Lord Chamberlain via Mr. Anthony Phillipson, the British High Commissioner, that the King Charles III would love me to come to the Buckingham Palace, upon which he will bestow upon me the most excellent officer of the Order of the British Empire. So I'm an OBE. I had a decision to make whether I would be called Sir John Carney or just Dr. John Carney, which I know is quite easy to get a job with that name. And I remembered Madiba when he also was honored by the Queen. He said, "No, Elizabeth." That's incredible that Madiba would call the Queen "No, Elizabeth." No, Elizabeth, I don't want to be Lord Nelson Mandela. I might be confused with your Lord Nelson. So it is indeed a great honor for me to stand here on the shoulders of great giants that went way ahead of me. South Africans have always distinguished themselves in serving and carrying the flag of this country. Now, when I've just come back from England, for the first time, people are not asking me, what's going on in South Africa? Why is the crime so high? Why are you doing not this and that, not that? Thank you to this government. Thank you to you, my minister. They say now, congratulations. Israel needed someone to stand up to. So now it's that time you made us feel so proud. to be South African. You made us so proud to be African. Through you and the government, we are now known to have stood on the right side of history. Thank you to this great evening, and thank you to everybody. I truly, truly value this award. Thank you.
What an incredible storyteller. At the age of 80, and you remember all of those things. I was standing and I was just wondering, like just listening to Dr. Kani explain and tell all these wonderful stories. I wonder
with the accent.
Yes. When he arrives to his Mrs. Kani, whether he goes and he says, "My love, upon my arrival on the intersection between Queen Elizabeth Drive and Nelson Mandela Drive, I came upon this young man who was selling this bouquet of flowers, and I just decided that I must get you this bouquet of flowers because they just remind me of you, my love." Remaining in the arts and culture category, the Youth Arts and Cultural Award will be presented by the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Mr. Alvin Bottas.
Excellency Deputy President and Minister Pando, allow me to stand on existing protocol. Tomorrow we mark 34 years, ladies and gentlemen, since the unconditional release of Nelson Mandela on 11 February 1990, after having spent 27 years in prison. As we celebrate 30 years of freedom, we should always therefore be conscious that our freedom in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, was not free. Allow me to foreground my announcement with a quote from the late Mayor Charlotte Maxeke. And I quote, she says, "This work is not for ourselves. If you rise, bring someone along with you," unquote. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing someone to you, the recipient for the Ubuntu Arts and Culture Diplomacy Award for young people, the young, vibrant, talented and inspiring Tintswalo, Ms. Tuso Mbedu. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Mbedu is a South African actress from Pietermaritzburg, KwaZulu-Natal. Molded at the University of Witwatersrand, she was also awarded a scholarship by the New York University Summer Program for Physical Theater at the Stella Adler Studio for Acting. Mbedu made her on-screen acting debut in August 2014 in the major and recurring role of Boni Kumalo in South Africa's Mzansi Magic series, Saints and Sinners. In 2018, she was nominated for her second International Emmy Award for Best Performance by an Actress for her breakout performance on the series, Isithunzi. She has also won a SAFTA for Best Actress in a TV Drama and was nominated for Best Young Actress at the International Achievement Recognition Awards for her work on the series. That year, she was also featured on the cover of Forbes Africa 30 Under 30 issue, highlighting African leaders, and was nominated as one of the 100 most influential Africans. In May 2021, she starred in the lead role of Cora in the Underground Railroad, making her the first South African leading woman in a U.S. television series. In 2022, she made a film debut as Nawi, starring opposite the iconic Viola Davis in The Woman King, a historical epic film inspired by true events that took place in the Kingdom of Dahomey, one of the most powerful states of West Africa in the 18th and 19th centuries.
I want to give a big thank you for this incredible honor. I am very sad that I'm not able to join you physically, but I have asked my agent, Anna Shalele, to give my acceptance speech on my behalf. And I think it's quite fitting because Anna is literally the only agent who would take a chance on me when I first started in the industry 10 years ago. It's been quite the 10 years, but yeah. And so quite literally, I could say that I am because she was. And isn't that the meaning of Ubuntu? I am because you are. And so from my heart, through her mouth to you, I say a very big thank you. Ngiyabonga.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anna Hlalele, and I am the owner of Canvas Casting Artist Management. I am Thuso Mbedu's South African agent, and on behalf of Thuso, I would just like to share the words that she would like to share with you all tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, fellow artists, and distinguished members, greetings from Los Angeles. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend this event, but I'm honored to be receiving the Ubuntu Award, an accolade that transcends individual achievement to celebrate excellency in diplomacy, a recognition that extends beyond the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, reaching the very essence of humanity. As a South African actress in Hollywood, this moment is not just about my journey, but a collective celebration of our shared humanity. The theme for tonight's awards, Collective Excellence in Diplomacy, working together to build a better Africa and a better world, resonates profoundly with the principles of Ubuntu. Ubuntu, as our African philosophy, teaches us that our actions impact the world. In the world of film and entertainment, we have the power to shape narratives, challenge stereotypes, and foster understanding among diverse cultures. This award is a testament to the belief that storytelling transcends borders and has the potential to build bridges of empathy and compassion. I want to express my gratitude to the countless individuals who have paved the way for the African talent in Hollywood and beyond. Tonight, we celebrate not just my achievements, but the collective strides we are making to amplify African voices on the global stage. Diplomacy in its truest form is about fostering connections, fostering understanding, and transcending boundaries. It is about using our craft not only for entertainment, but as a tool for dialogue, for breaking down barriers, and for making a positive impact in the world. As artists, we have the unique ability to showcase the richness and diversity of our African heritage, challenging preconceived notions and fostering a global perspective that embraces unity. Let us use our platforms to tell stories that inspire change, stories that celebrate our shared humanity, and stories that contribute to the betterment of our world. In conclusion, I accept this Ubuntu Award with immense pride. Thank you.
Thuso Mbedu is in the USA.
Yeah, and we are here.
Anyone has connections?
No, but it's lovely to be here.
Ain't you an agent, so don't forget us. We are here, also talented.
We are because you are.
Don't forget that. What an evening. I cannot believe that we are about to announce the last award for the evening, the O.R. Tambo Lifetime Achievement in Diplomacy Award.
Now, since its inception, the Ubuntu Awards have awarded some of the most extraordinary diplomats, which include some of our country's most important representatives, the diplomats themselves. Now, the O.R. Tambo Lifetime Achievement in Diplomacy Award is given to a diplomat who carries out their duties of representing our country with the utmost excellence. Now, recipients of this award include last winner, Ambassador Welile Nhlapo Magetrit and the late former Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Aziz Pahad. Now, this year's recipient, is Ambassador Mohammed Dango.
Ambassador Mohammed Dango is the eldest sibling of a family deeply entrenched in activism and a legacy interwoven into South Africa's relentless struggle for liberation against apartheid. His siblings include the late author Ahmad Dango, the late ANC Deputy Secretary General and anti-apartheid activist Jesse Duarte, and the late Mkhonto Wesizwe soldier Ikshan Dango. The Dango family's narrative is one of endurance marked by imprisonment, banning orders, and house arrest during the era of the anti-apartheid struggle. Raised among 9 siblings in the New Clare ghetto adjacent to the southwestern township and Sophia town, his activism was shaped by the forced removal of neighbors under the Group Areas Act. He was actively involved in the civic movement and played a pivotal role in the founding of Act Stop movement, proactively resisting the apartheid regime's Group Areas Act. His unwavering commitment to peace and justice is evident in his contributions to national peace. Active in the Civic Association of Southern Transvaal, a cornerstone in the formation of SANCO, which in turn played a vital role in the United Democratic Front. Following the 2019 South African general election, he was elected as a permanent delegate from the Gauteng province to the National Council of Provinces representing the African National Congress. Renowned as a distinguished diplomat, legislator, and advocate for peace and justice, Dango's extensive track record in international relations includes serving as a special advisor on international relations to the Middle East region from 2015 to 2018. His diplomatic service included a challenging tenure as South African ambassador to the state of Libya during a period marked by civil strife. He has also served as South African representative to Syria and Lebanon. Before his distinguished diplomatic and parliamentary roles, Dango made significant contributions in the private sector, notably as the manager of development at South African Permanent Bank from 1991 to 1994. His pre-1994 professional experience also includes serving as the executive secretary of the Exiles Returnees Committee from 1989 to 1991. He served the ANC as treasurer in Gauteng from 1994 to 2004. Vice President of the World Conference on Religion and Peace from 1990 to 2001, and Head of Housing for SANCO from 1989 to 1994. He is a distinguished South African politician and diplomat, embodying a career that spans in legislature, diplomacy, and advocacy. His profound dedication to international relations, community development, and anti-apartheid activism reflects a lifelong commitment to fostering a just and peaceful society.
May I humbly request the Deputy President of the country, His Excellency Paul Mashatile, and Her Excellency Minister Naledi Pandor to join us on the stage and present this award.
I think you're going to take more photos. I think you're going to take more photos.
Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile, Minister Pandor, ministers, diplomats, excellencies, I am humbled by this particular award. And Minister, let me recount some experiences. We were led by Dr. Zola Skawia, former Deputy Minister Aziz Pahad, and myself, I think purely by mistake, to visit all the countries in the MENA region to share the South African experience of how we actually achieved an almost impossible mission of finding a South Africa peacefully through negotiations instead of war. And Dr. Skawia reminded us at that particular point in time of the words of former President Nelson Mandela, is persuade people to turn their enemies into opponents and then negotiate with them in the common interest to achieve peace. That it is more important to talk than to kill. And I think that is the lesson today that we need to remind ourselves of as well, that it is more important to talk than it is to kill. And no matter how many times we are rebuffed, how many times we are moved away, we should continue on advocating for peace and finding peaceful solutions to seemingly intractable problems. We had gone and moved from Casablanca through to Baghdad. We met every emir, president, king, foreign minister, and president in between. In Israel, we met the Director General for 20 minutes. Of course, we were not talking peace there. We're talking how to stop the expansion of the Israeli settlements. Minister, I also humbly accept this particular award on behalf of the diplomats that endlessly pursue the pursuit of peace wherever they may be. In second-track diplomacy, which goes unnoticed. Many times, those issues don't go noticed. They are not public diplomacy. And I also want to accept this award on behalf of those consular officials who do thankless tasks, like bringing back the body bags of people who leave South Africa to go elsewhere in the country and don't actually go there on South African passports, but when they die or when they're in trouble, then they become South Africans. And that is what the consular service does. They sometimes bring back body parts, and at other times they bring back body parts. And I think it is important in diplomacy, there's public diplomacy, there's economic diplomacy, which is very important. But there's also the diplomacy of what we do in the consular service to serve South African citizens. With those few words, Minister, Deputy President, colleagues and friends, I humbly accept this particular award. And Minister, if need be, I could become a mentor to young diplomats going out and explaining to them what their duty should be and how, in fact, we should move them forward. Thank you very much.
Well, I wonder what Mr. Minele would say, Alton. I see green as the color of the day. I've got a bit of green. Ministers wearing green, and I'm sure Mr. Minele is very proud of that because he's from Nedbank. It's his color that wins the night. Even Dadatebe Ikalafek is wearing a green hat, so I'm pretty sure he's very happy about green winning the night. And of course, a very big congratulations to the veteran diplomats and to all the winners of the Ubuntu Awards 2024. There is still some thrilling entertainment lined lined up for you for later today. Afro Attraction, we've got Mafigizolo. We also have DJ Castro and Deputy President. If DJ Castro plays Tyler's Water, I do expect you to take me up on that challenge. Now, it's going to be a fun night. Let's enjoy the music whilst dinner is being served.
Enjoy. Evening winners, can you just quickly come back?